Silence it. Microphone.
Well, Mayor, it's good to see you. Thank you for accepting the invitation and making yourself available. It's been a long time coming. Today, you have to work on the feedback. I'm hearing myself. If you guys can please work on the feedback a little bit. Yeah, so we want to give you the opportunity to give your opening statement. Again, like I said in the intro, this is going to be a long conversation. The Secretary General of the major opposition party in the country, the former mayor of Jefferson Koijee. So we want to, there's a lot of people who give to you, and I can tell you already see the difference, but there are a lot of people who get who are sharing the show. I'm saying that this is always one thing you guys have to begin the process. So Mayor, the floor is yours. Go ahead and give your opening.
Well, thank you. It is my pleasing duty at this point in time to have an opportunity to share my perspectives with you and the Liberian people, both nationally and internationally. I want to be very grateful to God. I'm getting a feedback. Is that you okay? I hear him on says you want checking the microphone, isn't it? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Better. They better now. Yes. I'll come for hearing myself. Okay. Well, thank you again. This is my debut. Like Timberlane just said. Timberlane, let me say to you, right after the elections, this is my first real public appearance. And we try to manage our space. I want to begin with recognizing in sympathy with the owner of this facility, Musa Hassan Bility, being told that he lost his security and his drawer. So, as a political institution, a member of the opposition bloc, we want to publicly convey our sympathy like we did initially. We want to say, yes, convey our TPS sympathy. We also want to extend it to the friends that were being mentioned by Timberland Josh. We may not know him. We also want to extend our sympathy to his family. Having said that, I want to say thank you so kindly. And two things happening here. One, uh, my last appearance here was the Dakete, and that was our time in opposition. And today I try to repeat that history. The second one, I see a good friend, P. Bali, Madam Grace, and all of the great and wonderful and amazing panelists. Sometimes people wonder why we try to manage our space. It's because people are very deceptive. Not everyone you see who provide a platform and to communicate the burning issue of our country, you consider them to be genuine people. I would quickly want to reference your friend before I delve into the issues that you mentioned here. Take, for example, your former good old friend, all of you guys, when he came to Liberia, very little unknown character. He got very close to powerful individuals in the country, pretended to be a very good person, not knowing he was a very dangerous species. And after a while, he began to show his real head. Today, he's one of the challenges our country is faced with, and we have to decisively deal with it. As you sit here today, I look in your faces. Some of you guys are victim of his actions, and that's why we do not want to be too quick to avail ourselves in the name of trying to talk to our people and disseminate information, and we are a form that will end up becoming a dangerous platform that will destroy or put our country at risk. So here's our backdrop, so we look at things, but I want to say, closing argument, you've been doing quite well over the period of time. I want to encourage you for your sacrifices and commitment, and you continue to stand up. For us, it's not to promote us, it's to be able to stand for the truth and stand for this country in any form and manner so that the country can be transformed and the country can benefit from your patriotism and your nationalism. Our call here today to say to us about what has been transpiring over the period of time. I want to share with you. To begin with the incident. I don't know. Permit me. Let me take the thing off my ear and I will talk freely because it keeps disturbing me. Like I talk, I hear myself. Let me just take it off my ear. Yeah. Okay. Much better. Then when you're ready to respond, then I will be able to use it. So we want to begin with the situation at the CDC headquarters. Ben, on the 5th of August, I was in Nuku time and I got a call at the party headquarters that a well-armed police officers has invaded our party headquarters. And the question is, what could have led to their invasion? And I quickly phoned to the party chairperson who also told me he was on the scene. And the atmospheres were quickly wrapped with the sense of panic and pandemonium. So without hesitation, we made our way at the party headquarters. And for truth, when we get on the grounds of the party headquarters, we met a total state of pandemonium. And when we followed through, there were heavily armed men. Owing to the fact what transpired at the grounds of the party headquarters in 2011, the infamous November 7, where policemen on the same ground perpetrated evil against our people. And I was able to engage, quickly requested who was the commander. And I asked the commander, what are you doing on the grounds of our party headquarters? And he quickly said, could not explain to us clearly. And I said to him, if you would do yourself a favor to leave this premises, because situation, people are panicking, property have gotten destroyed only because of your presence. Some of the women who the old women who shared food at the party headquarters, they fled out of fear. So the state of pandemonium was indeed in place. So be as it may, and they too saw the growing tension. And people was agitating. You could see civilian and everybody, and they were well armed. And I said to them, and how come the commander at that time he allowed his sense of reasoning to set in and left. On the 22nd again, after we have learned from our intelligence that the Unity Party regime, under the stewardship of Mr. Boakai, has planned to send mercenary on the grounds of the party headquarters to have weapons planted and drugs planted in accomplishing his desire of erasing the CDC. We took intelligence very seriously and we tried to put the necessary mechanism into motion. The political leaders were, without delay, communicated about the evil plan of Mr. Boakai. To put this evil plan into manifestation on the 22nd, 2 a.m., around 3 a.m., the party headquarters was invaded by state mercenaries with the sole intent purpose to put weapons on the ground surreptitiously and then claiming that the CDC was in possession of illegal weapons. The sedition with their courage quickly with neighboring community dwellers alarmed to the situation at earlier 3 a.m. With that alarm, they began, and through being told, the reason we carefully call them state mercenaries, because they could not even find their way out. So it just draw to the conclusion that these people was being unified into state uniforms and with a direct instruction, but unfortunately for them, they were not aware of the terrain. So on the basis of that, it limited to accomplish their mission. So they were chased out of the party headquarters. And they arrested some of the partisans. A few other persons got badly wounded. We quickly tried to contact the authority. Unfortunately for us, the president was out of the country, the justice minister was out of the country, the inspector general was out of the country. Be as it may, we stayed contacted. Some of them out of the country. I think The NSA director was also contacted directly and asked them, and we entrust you to know none of them could have, you know, they could have spoken with divinity to also tell us that yes, indeed, this we were greeted with mist and disinformation. Some people claim that there was a raid near the party headquarters, and that was a bull-faced lie. As I speak to you now, I will encourage you to take your microphone into that community and see there is no semblance of ghetto in our community. Those are poor dwellers that live in our community. And interestingly, that community is a community that CDC have never won. That's how interesting it is. In fact, it is a unity party infested community. Our history has proven. So the people were too firm. They were in total shock when the heavy armed men passed through and trying to find their way to the CDC headquarters. That was not enough. Because their mission was not completed, they insisted to complete their mission to enter the grounds of for the Congress of Democratic Change. And as we say beyond this microphone, they just take the brazen courage and the undaunted resistance of these young men and women who protected the sacredness of the party headquarters with their sweat in ensuring that these men with the evil plan could not succeed in doing such thing. 500 plus canister were each shot on the grounds of the Congress of Democratic Change. Men were brutalized. Citizens were seriously injured. Went on the grounds, called the political leader. Immediately he said, Jeff, let us now forward neither Khartoum to the temptation of the Unity Party regime. I am calling upon you to ensure that everything is safe and calm. And I walk out to the street and ask the commander, I say, you people should not permit yourself to become pawn in the hands of these desperate politicians who have actively geared towards plunking this country into disaster. God will have it, our partisans listening, and the next day we had a National Executive Committee meeting. And in that meeting, the CDC were able to catalog systematically what the regimes have been doing over the period of time. And we thought, even though CDC is a peaceful party, its political leader is a peaceful person, but that peace has its limit. That peaceful nature certainly has a limit. We cannot endanger the lives of people who subscribe to the philosophical belief of the Democratic Congress of Democratic Change when they've been chased in their residence homes only because somebody perceived. So we thought to call the attention of stakeholders, both national and international. The political leader decided to put Mr. Boakat on notice along with regime. ECOWAS were written. We want to seize this time to appreciate the swift response of ECOWAS. President Toure responded. He came to town. We had an opportunity in a meeting. The president systematically laid out. One, he said to President Toure that you know my record, the CDC since 2005, when in elections with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We were not certified, but we thought that the peace of this country is greater than our quest to govern this country. We accepted the results. 2011, if I'm 205, to tell you how the president demonstrated, not just expressing, and that's why we can frankly say to you, no political institution have contributed to the peace and stability of this country more than what the CDC have done over the period of time. Not just by expression, but by demonstrated concrete actions. The political leader accompanied the then President Ellen Johnson's leave to Washington, D.C. When Madam Salif were going to advocate for debt waiver of our country. So she, for elections were over, so we said we have one country. If it is true, then even the major political leader of the country must accompany the current president. His Excellency Dr. George Manneh, we did that without hesitation. And at that time, our elections were verified. 2011, we went to these processes again. In the midst where today Bouaka has rewarded men who are notorious murderers on the infamous November 7th. Our partisans were murdered, broad daylight. Our partisans were angry. But again, His Excellency Dr. George Manneh, we have said to us that the CDC, it is a populous people revolution. It's not an armed struggle. It's not a warring faction. With all of those things, let us manage to consolidate the peace. He attended the inauguration, along with his Winston Tottenham, with tears in the eyes of our people.
Okay. Caramba.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Do I hear you now? Yes. No. No, Madam Grace. I no point in time I have said I exited that office with my power. I've never called myself mayor. So you can check it out. I don't know whether you've been told or you saw it yourself. If you did, I would be pleased with you to display it here. But I have never done such. So Ben, I will beg you to give me some latitude so that I can deal with this question. I think that's a very interesting question. Madam Grace, you see what Chairman Ben said, I'm aware of it. But the reason why I responded to you, you said you've been referring to yourself through writing. I haven't done that. And that's why I said, if you have any evidence towards that, you can display that. Also, very interested in what you just asked. You see, before my initial comment, I said how people are very dangerous. As a young man, born and raised from Lofa to West Point, I was gaslighted because of political reasons. I think the best thing for my accusers to avail the facts that they claim that this man was an human right abuser, a human right violator. When I was here, I started as a young student activist. My history is right in Liberia. It's so interesting that political people present Jefferson Koijee as being so dangerous. But this is the Koijee who is celebrated in the community. Where are my victims? Where are their families? Why are they not present? And interestingly, I wrote an article. My greatest accusers are all top-notch government officials. They have what it takes today. They run this country. They said Koijee was so powerful and Koijee was invisible in terms of prosecution. What I have done, I go to bed with peace of mind. I know I've been lied on. Take, for example, the issue of the late Chala Musu. The only thing that happened, a platform was provided, a learned counselor, Chiron Verdia, mounted the podium and presented a narration that can be defined as a movie. And everybody was in acceptance, only because Koijee was a very powerful person. Today, this little girl whose life was being taken away in a very gruesome way, today, no one cared to ask, where is Jerome Verdier? Why is he not saying the truth? Why is he not helping the police? The court said there was not sufficient facts established. But Jerome Verdier this incident occurred on the 22nd. On the 23rd, Jerome Verdier was on a platform where hundreds and thousands of people were following. And called this man called Jefferson Koijee, and he narrated that Koijee. When the police called him, he said he was only trying to provide lead. Nobody, it's what the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy of our society. It's not that people are interested in right. It is a class system. Apparently, some are not fortunate to be part of the class that should be considered as serious people in this country. And so because of that, we must be ostracized. We must be looked down upon. We owe no apologies for our faithful to God. We fought our way. I'm an orphan. I didn't have an opportunity to be reared in a house. I grew up on the beaches of West Point. And to come out and become mayor of the city, I'm very grateful to God for that. And I'm very appreciative of His Excellency Dr. George Monowia. I have done nothing absolutely wrong. And I'm here in this community, and the true people who know us, they know us very well. They cannot fall victim to the political chicanery that have been muted against our personality. Thank you. Yes. You see, Grace, interesting play, my dear. You asked the question, paradoxically, you are seated in America. You comfortably ask a question. And sometimes you feel by asking a question, you come across that you are very concerned about those people you ask about. That's not the case. You as a person who plays a question, if you were to be asked, you sit with your family and everybody beside you. Do not be under the illusion that because you sit behind the microphone and you ask questions, then people who hear, they pay less attention to the people. If these people you claim that we do not pay attention to, they you will not be the one asking the question. These are people responsible who understand, who know what they want, and nobody decide for them. And to even think that they are they are lesser thinking person that Koijee have to misuse them. Uh, Ambassador, we have to take advantage of them. It is the class system we talk about, my dear sister. Certain people believe that people like us is not in the category to provide leadership for our country. And we need to stop the CDC, and that's why we consider. Okay, you see, interestingly, you know, you see what you're trying to, yeah, the Sister Grace, yeah, Sister Grace, Sister Grace, Sister Grace, you see, Sister Grace, yeah, Sister Grace, y- Sister Grace, you see, you enjoy the right to ask a question. Please permit me to have the similar right you enjoy to ask and to respond. Often, the one who asks does not enjoy how to, to dictate how the responses should be. And when you asking, I waited for you, and you place it. The way I understand your question, certainly that's how I respond to it, my dear. So I'm trying to say to you that these people, by just asking the way you asking, by inferring, You're thinking that these people, they are not intelligent enough to know what wrong is and to even understand the trample upon they are falling short to speak up for themselves. That's not the case. These are smart people. They may not be as fortunate as you are, but they know what they want. In the CDC, we do not constrict people to the ideology. It's a free will. People will ascribe to it. The day you feel that you no longer believe that the CDC and its leadership is something you can follow, you will walk. You will disengage. You don't need somebody sitting in America to determine and to speak for you. That is unfair. So I say to you that those people, they are far smarter. They only in such exactly the effect and the impact of our leadership on their livelihood. Thank you so kindly. Okay, thank you, Peabody. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Peabody. That concern is not just only you. There are many people around the globe who know her personally, who know her from a distance. They are very concerned about that. Dr. Peabody, I'm a young and poor young man. I was here in the same country when people said Koijee was a millionaire. Today, these same people say Koijee being evicted from the place. Koijee lived to this place. Koijee lived to our place. To say to you, I do not have money to fight for self-ascension, but I believe in God. And with time, truth will set in. And the issue about the late Musu Chala, I think it was God who confused them. And that's the reason why today we have gotten vindicated. It happened with Justina Taylor, like you said. Everybody here was saying until she, as a person, she decided to confess and said, Koijee. And then the question I asked them and said, look, what is happening today? As we speak to you, people, I can give you lists of people who have lost their life mysteriously. But it's not in my purview to say somebody is responsible for that. That is not politics. Our politics should not be vicious. Our politics should not be in that sense. We should debate the issues. We should go to our people. And that's why we do not hesitate to take major decisions. It's not our life to say, oh yes, because we lost elections, it is the end of the country. We can't do that. How can people that are all taking patriotic decisions, yet instead people take out to be evil people, troublemakers? And today they see things in front of wash your eyes, they can't say it. And that's why we say it is a class system. And these people, it's not because they are interested in the truth, it's not because they love the country, but certain group of people in their understanding, in their psyche, are not supposed to be. So what I've done as a president, I pray to God, and the truth here is that I have done nothing, absolutely nothing I have done about that. Okoro Central, I don't have the millions of dollars, the thousands of dollars to go, no. But I believe in God, unless I did what I was accused of. If I did not do it, I'm certainly I will be free. You see, you have been persecuted. God knows the reason why Koijee has been treated this way. And that's why I go to bed very healthy. I wake up, I do my normal life. Because those things that said about me, they have no. So that people, I'm not going to stress myself about that. I'm going to continue to live at Jefferson Koijee. I have done nothing absolutely wrong. And I continue to say, take for example, the Chalamusu case. I want to call publicly here. Let the government re-establish a case. We all want to find the murderer. Let that Jerome verdict come. Now, it is the Unity Party. They were visiting people. You have one senator here, he would claim by the very loud mob and he has so much sympathy for people here. He was visiting people. But today, people are dying. We don't see that senator. Asking what transpired to Kawe, what transpired to Broadway, what transpired to EW Junction, what transpired when a presidential motorcade took a life of a motorcyclist. Today, these people are nowhere around. The fake humanitarian showmanship cannot be seen. I understand what you have said to me, but the truth here is I have done absolutely nothing. I will continue to be Koijee. I will live at Koijee, and only time will prove us here. If I have done anything, I will not escape it. Ask the same question after all the things I've said. Many times I go to America, some people saw me and say, oh, Jeff, what are you doing with your name just be repeatedly? I said, how do I control that? If people think by calling my name repeatedly is to create an impression, an impression so I can be stigmatized, I can't do it. But the only issue is easy to say, but it cannot be proven. It will never, ever be proven. They told you that I brought guns in this country. On the same platform, they said Koijee brought guns. It took the police to say to you this. And we asking, they say auditor passed away. We asking them to investigate. They should prove to the Liberian people, because you came on the basis here that people were mysteriously disappearing. People were walking criminals in this country. Today you have a country Today we haven't taken a step anywhere. We have availed ourselves. You must bring, because before you accuse her, you should be telling us that all of the facts were at your disposal. But instead, such a thing is not happening. I can tell you on this show today, one day on this platform, you will be true testimony of my vindication in this country. God do not make mistake. Thank you. Well, the president was very decisive. I was in a meeting. Yes, I was. It was a dedication, my ECOWAS delegation. The president in the meeting, Len Eugene Nangwe, and myself was in the meeting as well. And the president, just what he outlined it in his letter, he was very clear to the president that the unprovoked attack, a systematic attack on the CDC as an institution and its partisans and leaders got to stop. You think that Mr. Bouaka is deliberately undermining the peace of our country. For example, Mr. Bouaka came on the basis of trying to fight corruption. The National Security Advisor of former President Weah and a former Solicitor General and the former Finance Minister was indicted on a flying sheet. Up to present, there is no indictment. What our law says about that? Our law says you must form a grand jury. The grand jury must form an indictment. Today, what did they do? They went and the former National Security Advisor along the Solicitor General, they were called, paraded, celebrated. And you think that the way you solve the Liberian poor issue? You just joking. The real issue will confront you. The issue about the salary increasement will confront you. The issue of job creation will confront you. The thought of the Liberian people will confront you. Just like, but you could easily lie to come to power, but you cannot lie to govern the country. Up to present, there have been no formal indictment. So those are things that the president flagged. The president even the Supreme Court issue about taking job, issue about personally witch hunting people, taking job for Liberians, only because you perceive that they are associated with the ideology of the Congress of Democratic Change and the Coalition for Democratic Change. They become your target. See, the president, one of the things very clear again, he said to them, he said, 6 years when he led this country, he allowed the Unity Party to display their constitutional franchise. And he said, as the leader of the opposition, he must enjoy similar rights. And the partisans of the Congress of Democratic Change must be permitted to enjoy similar rights. Yeah, Timberland, thank you for this solidarity comment. Uh, it's a very tough thing, and I will say that to you. It's a very, very tough thing. But I can say to you that my spirit is not broken. As I speak to you, yes, I spoke to the Americans. I'm in touch with the American embassy. We communicate, we exchange pleasantry. And like I said to you, the truth I crushed to the ground will surely rise again. So we interact. But I will not say to you that we're going to find lawyer. What I have done, I have written my story and presented my story. I'm not going to go beyond that. I'm going to be right here and I'm going to live the life that I know best. And I know sincerely the biggest vindication is with I'm a Christian. I have never doubted God, decision in my life. I said this to people, Timberland. I said on your platform, my mother gave birth to me September 7th, 1985. On September 14th, 1985, she passed out. So it was 7 days later my mother died. So I survived as a child, 7 days old, and I got to Monrovia at 7 years. In 7 years, I was in West Point. We did not have a formal education. We used to go on the beach with the Ghanaians. We used to push their canoe, and that's how we survived. We survived in the ghetto. If God, who be God, with our parents, and we were able to be located with our miseducation, Today we can have an opportunity. We can sit to places and co-mingle with people who detest us. We are very grateful to God for that. And that's why we see even President Weah today. When we met President Weah, we met him as a gate boy. We were opening his gates until one of those days he got very interested and said, "Who is the dedicated young man?" And he decided to engage me. And after our interaction, he got interested in my well-being. Today I found myself. So I'm not surprised my challenges I encounter in life. And I'm a person who accepts my fate. If God could have taken me from where I came from and where I am, no man under the sun can destroy me, because you're not the one who who produced me. Only God can destroy. You may attempt to come after our person, but I'm not too sure you can succeed. Some of those things are meant to strengthen us. We draw our courage in it. And that's what we say to our friends. Today we are here, like they for this the city hall. The first thing they said, "Coach, you were too corrupt." It's I'm 8 months. I've availed myself for audit. Go and check the city hall and see what a coach ever stood. Let one person raise their hand up and say, "What could you have done to City Hall?" They were the very inexperienced Jefferson Koijee. There's a Koijee who were producing debt on the street. Today, the street is glittering with gold. But hypocritically, today they cannot say a word. Am I surprised? Am I baffled? Certainly not. Because Koijee is not some of those, he's not in some of those categories to be a mayor of a city. Where certain people who claim they are the owners of this country will remain despised in their opinion. They will never accept us. And I'm very glad that a Gongolo is sitting over there. He knows from when I speak. He knows exactly what it is. And sometimes when you speak it, they say we are being divisive. We're not divisive. It is what you have demonstrated to us. And that's why you are conditioned our life to be. And to say today, because they were very powerful friends in Washington, D.C. My mother did not see Monrovia, and she died. My father did not own a bicycle, and he died. He was a hunter. He was a farmer, and he died. So it's easier for people like us to get unsanctioned because we have no relationship in Washington, D.C. People who talk to people in Washington, D.C., will they listen to us? I don't think they will do that. And today, see the paradoxical thing. The only charges on Jefferson Koijee, because Children Freda went to the microphone and said, "Koijee said Valitele." Who is Valitele? He fought war. No, yes, of course. In fact, they told you that Koijee killed Valitele. Valitele, all of those things, they said, people who said it, they are government official. But nobody. But it is a set mind. And say because of Jefferson Koijee, every day you say this guy is a murderer, this guy is dangerous. Now one day you have succeeded in saying, yeah, it's what this guy has committed. He said, we let it with a American talk. When you say you let it with a, do I ask you how the way you sound? He sound too arrogant. He said, oh, he didn't go to school. Of course, we are proud of who we are because your forefather and your parents are responsible for our miseducation. And that's why we owe no apology for the way we sound and our pouring courage. So we hear and we say to like people like Stanton Witherspoon, who today they sit and want to be the determiner of our governance in our country. You use your platform to cause chaos in this country. Forget about politics. A child life was taken, an innocent child, 29 years old. She was murdered. And a very prominent government official, it's easy to believe. So you say that Koijee. So when you see all those things were being said, What today's Stentor Witherspoon, the slackest thing you can do is to call Jerome Verdier and say, oh, Mr. Verdier, the same way I afforded you the platform, it is the time now the country is waiting. Gilly Leggett left back, but she need justice. She need closure. The woman who gave birth to that daughter, she want to know how did her daughter, that mystery, what occurred. She want to know. And you are the only who knows. Apparently, that Leggett could have found justice. But because the legs of Stentor Witherspoon and Jerome Verdier politicized, it undermined the legality, the opportunity to be able to. Everybody just set their faith on Jefferson Koijee. And as a mayor, you know what I did? I waived my plea guilty. I went to the police station. I wrote a statement. I availed myself. The last time, in fact, when the court said I want to hold me in contempt, I used motorbike. I drove there because I didn't want any doubt to appear that Jefferson Koijee was trying to shy away from justice. And thankfully, my call law, I have never seen the woman before. The first time I saw this lady was in the court. The call law were there. Valley Teller, an interesting place. The day the occurrence of that day, you will see that video where Koijee was. I organized a program for money tonight to the next morning. And then we see how God can work. And thankfully, Valley Teller with me at that program. It's a popular program. None of them thinking about it. No, I didn't even show it. And we play that video, and you see the exact day. One man just say behind the microphone and think it's easier to get say when you say Jefferson Koijee, the public will believe it. What they did to me, they took my police director. They took him America. They offer him money. They recorded him. Say Koijee brought weapon in the country. When they manipulated him, and because God is God, when I reached out to him, he broke down in tears. What did he do? He returned to Liberia. He's the same old person today, Jerome Verdier, who were participating in all of our political disco. He cannot talk again because he has something hanging on his head. He tried to lie on an innocent man. And you see what happened to put assistant on it? And I say this to you. He took his son from Liberia and he's saying to Poland, what's up? You know what God have done to him? Ask Stentor Witherspoon. Where in Warsaw, Poland, his son is in a ghetto. Samuel A. Stentor. That's how God treat people. God look at your heart. That your heart God can look at. And you think the lay girl will die free unless there's not a God in heaven. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how connected you are, I can assure you that that blood that was spilled will not go without justice.
Thank you. That's what
But yeah, of course, I'll answer it. Timothy, interestingly, t- yeah, yeah, Timothy, as a secretary general, in my term of reference, nothing there tell me whether I select judge, we have friends. He's a political leader. He decides who his friends are. And the relationship between he and Steph, I can say to you, is a personal decision. To say whether CDC has a representation, I can tell you CDC has no representation on a platform. I'm the secretary general I'm telling you, a platform, forget about politics, but all my issue I have with the United Party. But I can say to you, people like I will give you take for example COVID-19. If COVID-19 is a virus, it doesn't matter whether you Unity Party or you CDC. It is a collective responsibility to what you call deal with it decisively. That's how Mr. Waterspoon have become in our society. This man has become a virus that is affecting everybody. And don't blink, don't blink, Kev. This is a guy who manipulates people. Kev is a victim. Like many other presidents. When I saw this guy, way back in 2020, I discovered the element and I decided to disassociate myself with him. And I said, no matter how you can say what Koijee, but I think God has blessed me with the spirit of discernment. And that's why I've never, ever, he took picture with everybody in Liberia, with the exception of me. But you talking about Kev, I get only Kev. Some are well-learned Liberian people. Today sit alongside with this creature who is causing more harm and people looking for Koijee there around the place. The platform in which that were being used, delegated to spill the thing that preventing justice for this lady. Today, he claimed to say he is the advocate. And that's what sometimes we say to you, that not everyone behind the microphone come across, oh, poor.